Good evening, everyone. Hey, it is the last Thursday of April. Yeah. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, everyone.
I forgot to do something. My bad. My bad.
Thursday.
There we go. It will work itself out.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, everyone.
I
Hey,
forgot to do
it's
something.
working out. Don't worry.
Thursday.
There we go. It will work itself out.
Good evening, everyone.
I'm thinking
everyone.
it
Hey,
should work itself out.
it's
It's
my
working
bad.
out. Don't worry.
Thursday.
Okay. There we go. It will work itself out. Okay, let me do this.
Good evening, everyone.
I'm thinking
everyone.
it should work. Okay. Okay. All right. I think I got it fixed. That's my bad. I yeah, let's do this. There we go. That should take care of it. Okay, I hope it's fixed now. Let's find out because I forgot to turn down the audio on my computer when I did the intro there. My bad, but it's going to get better throughout the evening. So I promise you that. Okay, welcome in. It's not fixed. Where's that coming from? Let's figure that out. Hold on. Oh, there we go. Okay, I figured out where it is. All right, fix it. My bad. Sorry about that. I forgot to see during the week I watch YouTube videos and I forgot to turn off the sound when we were doing this tonight. So my bad. Okay, welcome in. We got the technical stuff done. If you're sensitive to noise like I am, my deepest apologies for that, okay? Because that was a mistake on my part. Anyway, let's keep the night moving here and get things where they need to be and continue on with our program. There we go. We can do this. All right. It is the Confident Autistic live stream, not the technically confident autistic. Hey, it's live and we don't edit. This is just the way it is. Okay, tonight's topic is autism, unmasking, and confidence building. Yes. Hopefully, everyone's having a wonderful and amazing Autism Awareness and Acceptance Month. And I know I have every day except two. I have worn, and I don't know how it's going to show up in the camera here, an autism awareness shirt. I have my first one I ever bought on tonight, which is autism. The word autism is upside down. Seeing the world differently. The very first autism awareness of pride shirt I bought, and I'm wearing it tonight. So I've worn one every day this month except 2 days. One day when I went to the doctor with my wife, we wear certain shirts to support what she's going through. And this will look a lot better if I did this. You see the shirt better if I do that. Okay, let's do it this way. Anyway, hit the shirt. And then there's one day. Normally, I'm not on camera around here. I'll let you in a little secret. I go shirtless. I like the feel of less clothing on my back and my stomach and all. So I usually run around here shirtless. So one day I just did not put a shirt on the entire day. So otherwise I've been celebrating this month. Been great. I had a great experience last week when I got a haircut. And I'm going to be sharing that in a video. I plan to. I haven't shot the video yet, but I plan to have that video ready for you guys tomorrow on the channel. So be watching for that. A lot of great things are going on here at the channel. We are we're making some changes, making some improvements and all. So it's great. Where I am right now, we have rain outside, or at least we did. I'm peeking out the window, and we're supposed to have storms tonight, and we're going to be talking about stormy weather a little bit later on this evening. So that is on the agenda tonight as well. So how's everyone doing? What's going on in your life? Let me know. Say hello in chat. And I'll give you a shout out here and without echoing. We'll do it that way. Say hi. Let me know you're watching, where you're from, what's going on in your world. It's been kind of a little bit of a crazy week here, but a little bit calm as well. Things have been starting to stabilize a little bit here at my household, so it's been great. Uh, I want to share this fun story, and then we're going to get into tonight's topic. While I know we're in a delay, so so you have a chance to say hello in the chat and let me know what's going on in your life. I had a conversation with my niece-in-law. Okay. And she's the mom of my great nephew who is on the spectrum. And we were talking about somehow we got into the topic of ceiling fans. Because my great nephew, when he was little, and I think he still does today, loves to look up. I got one here in the office, loves to look up and we'll just watch the ceiling fan go around. And I get it. I mean, I'm kind of that way. I like my fidget spinner and I will just hold it up where I can see different color patterns through the light on this. So I get it. So he got a new bed in his room. It's like a bunk bed, but I don't think it is a bunk bed, but whatever. Uh, and he has a ceiling fan. Now, maybe you know where this is going, maybe not, but he got up on the top of his new bed and the ceiling fan's rotating. And um, he decided to grab onto one of the blades. My niece-in-law was telling me the story. Grab on one of the blades and wrap I guess his leg or foot around another blade and just rotating around on it. And I'm thinking, and his mom busted him, and he said, but Dad would like this, and she said, no, he wouldn't. And I'm thinking, his uncle would, because that just kids listening, don't try that at home because it really is dangerous. Okay, but yeah, I'm thinking that is hilarious, wrong and dangerous, but hilarious. So I really love that story, and that was the day I told her a couple of days ago during Autism Awareness and Acceptance Month that I'm on the spectrum, and she kind of said, "Oh, I had that figured out a few years ago." So, uh, like, okay, no wonder no one's shocked when I tell them I'm on the spectrum. They already have figured out if they know me. So anyway, we're going to get into tonight's topic of autism, unmasking, and confidence building. And I'm going to move some screens around here so you don't have to worry about anything that's going on in the background right now. Because I need to get some screens over where I need them so I can see what's going on. And then we're going to get into this topic here. And the reason I bring up the unmasking tonight, well, one is Autism Awareness and Acceptance Month. And two, the other reason I bring that up is I just did a video today. We posted it about a book about unmasking autism. I'm horrible with names. Anyway, the link to the video in the actual video description. And in fact, what I'm going to try to do here is this, and I promise you it will not feedback. I promise you that. I'll just do it this way. I'm going to put a link into I typed in the wrong one. There we go. I typed in the wrong one. I thought, oh my gosh, what happened to my website? And I typed in the wrong URL. No wonder it said it does not exist. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to put this in the chat. This is my review of the book. So there we go. It's in the chat and it's also in the video description. Either way, you'll find it. And it's a new book. I was given the opportunity, the privilege, I was saying. I was invited to. I got an early copy of this book. And I feel embarrassed because it took me 3 months to read it because I just had so much going on in my life. But I did read the book. And I, so they gave me an advanced copy in exchange for an honest review. And what you will see when you read this review or watch the video, which the video is on this page on my website, is an honest review. And the people who wrote the book or the person who wrote the book, they don't get to see these reviews until I do them. So there's no influence by them. I did get an advanced copy, but I also got a Kindle version for myself for 99 cents. So, and it is available on Amazon, by the way. And if you click on the link in that That particular video description, the Amazon link, or on my website, I'm an Amazon associate. And if you do that and you use it to make a purchase, I may earn a commission from that purchase, and those commissions help support what I do here on this channel and the work that I do in the adult autism community. And I do truly appreciate everyone's support, whether it be through purchasing something with a commission link, sharing the channel, subscribing, whatever you do. I truly do appreciate that. So, let's get into tonight's topic and discuss a little bit. And that's going to work a little bit differently than what we normally do on Thursday nights. I'm trying a little bit different and working on kind of retooling, that's a TV term, or restructuring how we do these videos on Thursday night, these live ones. And maybe I may toy with the time and the day of the week on this as well. But we're going to do some tests in the next couple of months. I know I said I was going to do that in April. April's been hectic, but I think things are settling down here at my house. So I think we'll be able to do it more efficiently. All right, so let's talk about unmasking for autistic adults. Now, if you're new to autism and you're just starting out and realizing, hey, I may be in the spectrum or I've been diagnosed with it, what's this new world all about and all these new terms? Let me break down what masking is. Masking is when we hide our autistic traits from others so we can fit in. Okay. And it's very common in the autism community. Uh, Example would be I I used to fiddle a lot, okay? And when I was around people, I tried really hard not to because most people don't fiddle with stuff. Now, part of my unmasking is I carry this needle ball that I have with me almost everywhere. And my wife could tell you this. If I cannot find the needle ball, I start hyperventilating. I go into a panic attack. Okay. I get the anxiety panic. But I take this everywhere. I don't mind. I'm out in public. I'll do this bouncing back and forth from hand to hand with the needle ball. And that's just one way that is a stimming for me, helps me self-regulate and all. And that's one way I'm unmasking. I'm also telling people that I'm on the spectrum. And that's another way that I'm unmasking. And it's healthy to unmask, and we should, because masking can lead to mental health issues and all, and identity crisis. And every one of us on this planet should be, whether we're autistic or not, our authentic selves. Okay. Now we need to follow the laws of society and rules that businesses have and maybe schools have that everyone's expected to adhere to. But when it comes to reasonable accommodations, I mean that's fine. We can have reasonable accommodations, and because it's part of the ADA, American Disability Act, and it allows us to kind of have a level chance at having the same kind of life and success as our holistic peers, and that's super. That is, and part of the reasonable accommodations, like me going into the store and playing with this while scootering around the store. For those of you who do not know, I'm also physically disabled. It is what I consider a reasonable accommodation. It is it's it's who I am. I mean, the only thing I got to make sure of is when I go into a store, I know there's cameras when I enter, so I make sure I enter the store holding this clearly in my hand, just in case the store sells these. I don't want to have a meeting on shoplifting, but I know it does not show it well on the camera, but if you looked at this, you would definitely say this is not shoplifted because it's kind of scuzzy looking and dirty and out of shape. So it's a good thing. But unmasking is something we should do. It's something that allows us to build our confidence. And the more confidence we have, the more we're going to unmask and be comfortable in unmasking. So it's a very important thing that we are doing. And it's something that's a very important topic for this month of Autism Awareness and Acceptance Month. So, unmasking for autistic adults, especially those of us who were diagnosed later in life. And when I say diagnosed later in life, I mean whether you have an official late diagnosis of autism, you self identify as autistic, or even for some of us who just suspect we're on the spectrum and we're beginning that journey. Unmasking for autistic adults is a deeply personal and often emotional process. At the core, unmasking means letting go of the social camouflage many autistic adults like you and me have developed over the years in order to blend in, avoid stigma, or meet expectations of a neurotypical world. Now, it is a very emotional experience. I mean, the first few times I went out wearing my autism shirt and my Bluetooth headphones that were not noise canceling, and that actually bit the dust the other day because the little band across the top cracked. So I got new ones coming tomorrow, and they are noise canceling. I'm going to do a review of those uh, in a reasonable amount of time, do a video, and put that up on the channel. But anyway, the first times I went out with that, it was a little bit scary, but I said, you know what? If I'm going to have a channel and I'm going to have the name, the Confident Autistic, I got to go out there kicking down that door and doing this. And they did that, it it gave me more confidence. But the emotional part was when I started letting myself wear my autistic shirt, wear the headphones in public, take my needle ball with me. Two things happened. One, I was having less trouble with sensory issues. Okay, maybe three. Two, two, my anxiety level went down. And three, I started grieving and feeling sad. And I'll tell you why. Because I realized I've been suppressing who I truly am. And now I was starting to allow that to happen in public and all. And it was emotional. It's like, I am now the authentic me. And during this, excuse me, I got a hair in my mouth there. During this unmasking time for me, I uh I lost my train of thought. No, I probably did that during the unmasking period as well. But during this time of unmasking for me, I grieved over realizing for so many years I suppressed who I was. And I just felt liberated being able to actually authentically be myself in public and even around myself. It was great. So if you've started unmasking, what feelings have you had from the experience, especially at the start of the experience? Feel free, if you're comfortable, sharing them in the chat so others who are watching this video now or possibly late in delay can see those comments, and you might say something that inspires somebody else to start taking off their mask. And we should all do that. Be our authentic selves. Now, here's what unmasking often really means for us late diagnosed autistic adults. And I kind of mentioned this first one a moment ago, but it's reclaiming our true selves. See, for many late diagnosed individuals, the diagnosis itself self is a turning point. And when I say diagnosis, I'm also meaning our self identifying or when we start suspecting that we're on the spectrum. It is a major turning point in our lives. It was for me. And during that major turning point, uh, I started connecting with myself. My life started making sense to me. Everything that's happened in my past was now making sense to me. And, and it was a turning point, and it was very emotional. And all your life you were autistic. You did not know. Now you're in this new world, and it can be a little bit scary. It was for me. Not as much now. I think it still is a little bit, but most of it is not that scary because I've done a lot of reading on it, done videos, watched a lot of videos, did a lot of deep dives into the topic. But that's why I wanted to create the channel. I want to help other people who are getting or realizing they're autistic, self-identifying, or just received a diagnosis, who are sitting there saying, I thought I was autistic. I've been trying to fit in all these years. My life is now 180 degrees turned around. What do I do? That's why I created the channel. Now, so for many late diagnosed individuals, the diagnosis itself is a turning point. It's often followed by a wave of reflection. I went through that. Have you went through that? feel free to share that in the chat. I know some comments coming in. I appreciate them. I'm going to check those in a moment. Yeah, I see two that came in there. Uh, uh, so, it did. I started reflecting upon my life. Many people have reported that as they go through, transitioning from suspecting to self identifying to possibly a late diagnosis, they reflect upon their life and realize, wow, now that makes sense why I did that. I'm not weird. I'm on the spectrum. It's okay. Now I have an understanding of why I do X, Y, and Z. Also, when we are going through this point in our life, where the turning point, when we're reclaiming our true self, we go through some grief. I went through a lot of grief personally, reflecting back and thinking, because I have a great nephew, he's about 6 now, who's on the spectrum, and he's getting a lot of support right now through the schools. I say right now with an asterisk, but we won't go into that. But hopefully that continues next year. Anyway, and I'm just thinking, if they knew when I was his age that I was on the spectrum, what kind of support could I have gotten? And how could my life be different today? You know? And grieving that I may have missed opportunities. And I had to work through that and realize they did not know in the 1970s what they know today about autism and all. And I should be very happy for my nephew. I'm not jealous for him or envious. But yeah, I was grieving that I missed out on opportunities my nephew is going to be getting, my great nephew, that is. Also, another thing that we go through is relief. Unmasking begins when, well, we'll get into that in a moment. Let's talk about the relief. Because now that we know, hey, we're autistic and all, and our life, our past experiences start making sense to us, we feel relieved. We're no longer an alien on this planet. We belong. We're in a very special tribe, very special group of people. And there's others like us. We're not alone in the world. And we feel relieved. Isn't it a great feeling? So unmasking begins when a person like you and me starts to notice the behaviors that we were performing just to fit in. I try so hard with small talk, and I stink at it and all. I try hard to interact with people. It's not the easiest thing for me. I know I got to do it because the world, there's 8 billion people here, and I got to interact with some of them, right? So that we do that, and we realize how we are doing this to fit in, and by actions that we're doing, we're suppressing our true selves just to try to get acceptance by others. And that's part of what we go through. We stop suppressing natural responses like stimming, needing quiet time, or expressing blunt honesty. First of all, my wife, if she's in the chat room right now, could tell you, if she was here with me right now, I never had trouble being blunt honesty, okay? Because I also have ADHD. And she learned very quickly in our relationship, and so did her side of the family. Not a really unfortunate incident, but they did learn from witnessing something. You don't ask Chris his opinion unless you really want it, because I am very blunt. My wife has taught me that not everything that comes into my mind needs to be expressed. I've learned that. But yeah, because we can be blunt, and sometimes that bluntness has hurt friendships. So that's why we mask, we hide that bluntness so we can be accepted. And we know that we need quiet time. As I've been unmasking for the last year or so, I've been able to tell my wife, "Hey, I need a break from the TV. I need a break from all this noise. I'm going to go in the bedroom and lay down for an hour just so I can get some quietness." And she understands that. And now I'm comfortable saying that to her because I'm unmasking, and I know that's one of my needs. Also, we feel safe exploring our own true preferences, not just the socially acceptable ones. So many of us have special interests. Not all, but many people in the spectrum do. And some of those special interests are a little bit different than mainstream interests. And that's fine. This is a no judgment zone. Be your authentic self. And when we start unmasking, we will start feeling safe about exploring our true preferences. And maybe for some of us, that's our sexual preferences. It doesn't matter. Uh, we start exploring them, and that makes us feel better, and gives us identity. Now, if you do not know me all that well, I am also visually impaired, so I got to get a little closer to the screen. But I'm going to go check out these comments, and I'm going to react to them here on mic. So just give me one moment here, because I I ran my phone down to 30% and it's charging right now, so I don't have my phone to peek at tonight. Let's see. And let's see, Autistic Jenny. I don't know if you guys can hear me or not. Let me get this a little bit closer. Autistic Jenny is still um, something I'm working on. I also think women are more prone to do it. Okay, I'm not exactly sure what it is because you typed that in a while ago, but yeah, autism is different in women than in men in some cases, and sometimes a little harder to detect. So if you could tell me what that it is, I would love that because I have no idea. Because first of all, you typed it in earlier, and second, there's a delay, so I'm not sure. But if you want to share that, go ahead. Let's see. You also mentioned I really liked your video about autism pride. It had me thinking. I appreciate that. I put a lot of work into these videos, and I really do appreciate feedback. I love good feedback. Who doesn't? But if you have constructive negative feedback, I'm open to that, okay? Because this channel is not about my ego. This channel is about serving you and other people like us who are autistic. So, yeah, if you have a suggestion or constructive criticism, please let me know. And if you don't want to share it publicly on a comment area or on a chat or something, you can always email me. My email is Chris, CHRS, at define, DEFINE, YOURSELF.us. And if you go to my main page of my YouTube channel, it's in the contact information, so you can find it there as well. It's nice when we can be ourselves around our spouses. Yes, because the person we probably going to spend the most time with in our life is our spouse. All right, second post. We spend more time around ourselves. So we really need to like and love ourselves because we can't get away from ourselves, right? No. And the it you were talking about was masking. Okay, thank you for putting that in there. So now I know what we're talking about. Yes, it is very nice that we can be comfortable. And my spouse was actually one of the very first people I told that I suspected I was on the spectrum. And I was very nervous about telling her. I wasn't sure how she's going to react. But I am very fortunate to have a very supporting and loving wife who stands by me through everything that I go through. I have a nickname for one of my computers. I call it Kabby, Kabiy. Uh, Yeah, Kabby, Kabiy, and that stands for Kimberly. That's my wife's name. Always believes in you, and she has. She's always been by my side, so I've been very fortunate with that. But I talked to her about that first before I talked to my doctor and before I said anything online. And she was the first, and she was accepting. And she said, "Let's find out if this is going on with you. Let's find out how to support you." And she watches some of these videos. We talk about things, and she actually on her own, I believe, has done some research on the internet, and she's asked me questions. I read this about autism or whatever, and we have conversations. So I'm very blessed in that area. I know not everyone is, but I know that I am, and I'm very grateful for that. So unmasking is about reconnecting with who you were before the world told you who to be, and that's very true. I remember as a little kid, I don't know, about 4 or 5 years old, something like that. And I was in my bedroom. I was sitting on the floor outside the closet and playing with some toys and all. I was talking to myself, which to me I did all the time. And my mom came in there and kind of reprimanded me for that. Don't do that. People think you're crazy or whatever. And that's when I started hiding that and suppressing that. And now I still do it. I don't do it in public, okay? I don't do that. But I'm very open about it. My wife knows I do it. She's heard me do it. I've talked to her about it. In fact, we have a little joke about it here. If she hears me talking to myself in the office, she said, "Oh, you're having another team meeting." So, and we have a sign on my office door here that says, "If you hear me talking to myself, don't worry. I'm just having a team meeting," since I work from home. Now, one of the things that we do when we are unmasking is reevaluating past experiences. Okay, we just had a chat came in. So before I get into that, let's see what the chat says here. We are blessed with good spouses. Just wanted to hop on and say hi. I got to go, but enjoying your channel, Chris. Thank you very much, Jenny. I also believe I subscribe to your channel. So you have a great channel. I've been checking it out. So you're doing great work as well. And thank you for dropping by tonight. So part of unmasking is we are reevaluate our past experiences. Unmasking includes reframing our history. Many late diagnosed autistic adults look back and realize why school, friendships, or jobs felt so hard. For me, friendships felt really hard. School was challenging a lot for various reasons. And one thing I kind of realized that I did some self reflection is I did better in smaller classrooms. The more kids in the classroom, the more problems I had. During our self reflection, we will realize that we were never broken. We were just misunderstood, which is true. And during self reflection, we may realize how much energy we spent on performance instead of authentic living. And I do realize that. I realize that I've spent a lot of time trying to fit in instead of being my authentic self. So, yeah, I agree with that. I also know in my own experience, uh, I was probably having sensory issues when I was younger. And the research I've done indicates that would explain why I had a lot of behavior issues because I was having sensory issues, but I did not know how to communicate them. And that probably got me into some trouble. Now, as we mentioned a little bit earlier, part of unmasking is expressing our needs openly to others. Unmasking allows autistic adults like us to advocate for accommodations without shame. I'm getting better with that. I talked to my barber. I gotta find if she goes by barber or hairstylist. Anyway, I think barber because the name of her business she's self-employed and it's the church somewhere is called the last name Barber in it. So I think she calls herself a barber. Anyway, I told her I need morning appointments with her, the first one of the day, because she gets in before everyone else in that shop and is quieter. And so I've advocated and told her I need morning appointments. So sometimes it takes me 2 weeks to get an appointment. That's fine. That's not on her. That's on me because I need that. And I'm fine with that. So I'm able to advocate for myself. And I'm not ashamed of that. I'm like, hey, I don't want to leave here so fatigued and disoriented from the noise that I don't get anything else done during the day. So I'm advocating for myself. Unmasking allows us to say no without ever or without over explaining. Okay, this is something I do struggle with. I'm getting a little bit better with no's, but I still over explain. And the reason I know I struggle with saying no, and if you have the same struggle and you feel comfortable, please share it. Fawning, a people pleaser, and I think that comes to many of us on the spectrum because we are trying to fit in, and that's part of our masking. And unmasking, let me get it back up here. Unmasking allows us autistic adults to choose environments and relationships that are supportive rather than draining. I am trying to work on, and we just had a lot of things going on here lately, to get this office re-clean, reorganized, and all because clutter, I don't like clutter, and make it more sensory friendly for me. And that be choosing an environment that is supportive of me, and I'm careful with my relationships with people. I don't have that many. I'm kind of a private person, and friendships are very challenging for me. So uh, I want to make sure my relationships, friendships with other people, are supportive of and understand that I'm autistic and are not too draining. Now I understand relationships; some are going to be draining, but I don't want it to be excessively draining. So, for many of us on the spectrum, self advocacy is a radical act of self love, and it is. And it becomes easier once the mask comes out. And our mask will come off when we start accepting ourselves and having confidence in who we are. And like I mentioned earlier in this video, in this live stream, that when we have confidence, we will unmask. And when we unmask, it will grow our confidence. And then that grown confidence will help us to unmask more. It's the circle of life, friends, just like in The Lion King. The next part of unmasking I want to discuss tonight is finding new language and community. Unmasking is often supported by discovering neurodivergent language like sensory friendly, social hangover. I've not heard that one before. That's cool. That explains why how I feel after having interacted with people for a while. I get a social hangover. And my social hangover is actually from socially interacting because I don't drink. Okay. Or executive dysfunction. That's the phrase we've heard a lot about. And I believe I've done a video on executive dysfunction, but I'm going to make sure I've done videos on all three of these terms. And if I haven't, be looking for them on this channel on the playlist of Adult Autism 101. Those will be coming. If they're not there already, they'll be coming in the month of May. Unmasking is often supported by connecting with other autistic adults who get you. And this is why this channel is important. I want to have this here so you can connect with me and I can connect with you and we get each other. We don't just say everything. We know it, we get it. And I connect with people not only through here, I have on social media, but I'm proud to say that today is day 60 without me being active on social media. I'm very happy about that. And I'm happier without social media. But for some people, being on social media and being in online groups is another way that you can connect with other autistic adults who get you. I also feel better and feel connected with people. It sounds weird. When I read a book written by somebody who's autistic about autism, I love that. I connect with that person. Sometimes I reach out to them and I'll get them to be guests on videos on the channel. And the last point I'd like to make on this one is unmasking is often supported by realizing you're not alone and there's nothing wrong with how you process the world. And that's very true. We are not broken. We don't need to be fixed. We just see the world, like my shirt says, we see the world differently. And that's fine. The world needs our different aspect and our view of the world because, hey, we can bring something very special to the table. And if you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm checking my clock. Okay, community and identity building are powerful parts of the unmasking process. The next thing I like to talk about in regards to unmasking is building a life that fits you or me. Ultimately, unmasking is about shaping a life that honors your needs, strengths, and passions. And that's very true. And that's what I'm working on. I know that my strength is working by myself. I don't do all that well working in groups. I've had traditional jobs, both paid and volunteer, and I realize I do much better when I'm left to my own devices. I'm told what I need to get done, but management stays away from me. A lot of people stay away from me and let me do it my way. And bada boom, you're going to get awesome results. And I'm better at working by myself and being self employed. And that kind of runs in my family. I have an uncle, he passed away, Uncle Ben, who worked for himself. He worked on cars and sold cars for himself from his home and all. And when I was younger, it was explained to me, at least this is my memory of it, that he did that because that was better for him than working for a boss. He worked better that way. So maybe it runs in my family. I don't know. Anyway, I'm asking about shaping a life that honors your needs, strengths, and passions. And that can look like choosing quiet over parties without guilt. I choose being alone or quiet over parties. I still feel, I don't think I feel guilty, but I do kind of feel lonely and I feel like I'm being left out and I feel like it's my fault for not going to that event or being involved. But I also know that if I go there, I'm going to get overwhelmed. I'm going to get a social hangover. New phrase I learned tonight. I like that word at all. And then maybe I will have an incident, a meltdown, and then I'm going to do more damage to friendships and relationships and feel guilty afterwards. So quiet over parties is better for me, but yet I do feel a little bit of loneliness not being able to go to parties. I'll share that with you. Maybe you feel the same. If you do and you feel comfortable, share that in the chat. Love to hear about that. Let's see. Another thing that shaping a life that honors your needs looks like is replacing draining relationships with affirming ones. I know I talked about in a book that I wrote a while back, success starts with self confidence. That at times we need to prune our garden of friends. Get the crabgrass, the weeds out of there. You have to. You got to do that. You don't want to be around people who are negative. You don't want to be around people who tear you down or cause you more anxiety or does not get your autism and not willing to make reasonable accommodations. You want people that lift you up because you're around people who are tearing you down. You're going to be depressed. You're going to be down, and you're not going to be able to do much for your life. Or at least not as much as you could. So you definitely want to weed out the weeds, okay, the problems in your life, and be around people that lift you up instead of those that tear you down. And another way that we can honor ourselves and create a life, um, uh, shaping a life that honors our needs, strengths, and passions, that is finding work or hobbies that energize us rather than exhaust us. And I think that's true not only for all autistics, but allistics as well, especially finding work. We all should find jobs, if at all possible, we enjoy doing. Jobs that we hate will drain us. I don't care if you're autistic or autistic, that will happen. We got to find work that best fits our personalities, each one of us. Now, unmasking, this is important, folks, so pay attention because there could be a quiz later. Probably won't be, but there could be. Unmasking isn't about giving up on growth, it's about growing in your own direction and not in someone else's mold. Look, you plant a tree in the yard, the tree's going to grow whatever way it wants to, okay? It does. It kind of makes adjustments if there's other trees around it, so it does not collide with it. And trees are smart. They figure out where the power lines are sometimes. And sometimes they get too close to the power lines, and then the electric company should come through and bring them back. But yeah, that's basically what a tree does. We don't try to tell the tree how to grow. We let it do it. But and that's what we need to do. We need to let ourselves grow in our own natural direction and not by someone else's plan for you. None of us like being controlled or told what to do. Okay. And we should grow on our own in the direction we want because when we do things that we like doing, we're going to do them more and we're going to do them with better passion and energy and be better at them than doing things that we're told to do. I mean, I know people, I'm one of them myself, that if there's something I need to do and I love doing it, there's nothing stopping me. But if there's something I have to do, like this filing here on my desk, oh God, there's so much filing. I hate paper. Um, I dig my feet in like a Missouri mule and I am stubborn. Okay. And so if somebody tries to mold me in a way that is not right for me, I can resist. But some of us try to fit into that mold because of the fawning that I talked about, which is people pleasing. Because we're trying to fit in and be accepted by neurotypical society. And we shouldn't. We should be our authentic selves. And here's a gentle reminder I'd like to share with you. Unmasking is a process. It is not a one-time event. It can feel freeing for one moment and terrifying the next. It takes courage, support, and time. In fact, you could be spending the rest of your life unmasking. And don't say, oh no, Chris, that's horrible. I don't want to hear that. No, it's a wonderful adventure. Never stop unmasking. Never stop. It's not a race. It's not a competition. So please, no wagering, as David Letterman would say. But it's an experience and you should embrace it. Whether you're just starting or well along the journey of unmasking, please know you deserve to live as your whole, authentic self. Every one of us deserves that. Autistic, holistic, doesn't matter. Each and every one of us deserves um, to live our authentic self. And that's what living confidently autistic is. It's about living life unapologetically as autistic. In fact, I wrote a beautiful piece about that today. Let me see if I can pull it up here in the computer. Let's see. Here we go. Let's see. Okay, blah 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 blah. Okay, blah 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 blah. It's in a file here. Okay. To live confidently autistic is to live life unapologetically as your authentic autistic self. And by the way, what I'm sharing is going to be in a video in probably early part of next week. This is a script from an upcoming video I'm going to be shooting. Excuse me. Yeah, drink a lot of water. You're going to burp every once in a while. My apologies. Okay. To live confidently autistic is to unmask and share with the world that you are on the spectrum by stimming, wearing noise canceling headphones, and everything else it takes for you to survive in a neurotypical world as a neurodiverse individual. To live confidently autistic is to advocate for yourself whenever and wherever necessary without any guilt or shame or embarrassment. To live confidently autistic takes understanding of what autism is and what autism is not. And this is one of the things I do in this channel, especially in the playlist called Adult Autism 101. You will find videos that will educate you on autism on the playlist that I mentioned, Adult Autism 101. To live confidently autistic takes knowing what resources and support are available. There's a lot out there for kids, and that's great. The children are our future. They deserve this. But we as autistic adults, especially late diagnosed, we need support too. And many of us should have gotten support when we were kids. And some of the support that's available today was not even available for autistic kids 20, 30 years ago when we were younger. One of my missions on the channel is to help connect you with resources and support for autistic adults. And so on this channel, and knowing where these resources and supports are located, is one of the ways to live confidently autistic. And to help you do that, on the channel, you will find videos that show support, services, and resources in the playlist, Resources and Support for Autistic Adults. Now, that playlist is there. I got to rename it. It's not named that right now, but it's going to be renamed. And to live confidently autistic takes discovering, developing, and growing your self confidence. And this is another thing I do in the channel. I want to help you live confidently autistic. And so on this channel, you will find videos that will show you how to do that and more by giving you practical advice, interviews with people who are influencers, experts in the field who may be smarter than me. And they will be in the playlist that I got to rename the playlist, but it's going to be named Confidence Building for Autistic Adults. And that's what living confidently autistic means. It means being your authentic self, unapologetically and without shame or embarrassment. That's what it means. And that's what we aim for here on this channel. So that is what is going on there. I'm trying to do something, and here we go. I want to get this back over here. If you have any questions, let's do it this way. Yeah, go ahead. Okay, if you have any questions or comments, we have some time for open Q&A. Put them into the chat. Love to hear from you on that. And I meant to do this. There we go. Yeah, I want to get that screen up there. Okay, there we go. There we go. So if you have any comments or questions, yeah, you can do that. Like I mentioned, I'm working on a video for tomorrow. Will be sharing my experience of a haircut that I got last week from an autistic adult's point of view. And remember, each one of us experiences autism differently. So, what I'm going to share in the video is my experience as an autistic adult getting a haircut. Your experience may vary, which is fine. It's okay. It really is. And then we're going to have some other great videos coming up, uh, which is going to, I can't really tell too much about them because, well, time. But there's going to be some new videos coming to the channel, and I'm working on getting some great interviews lined up that's going to help you live confidently autistic. And a lot of great big things are coming in the month of May. Now, we will be back. Fingers crossed. They really are crossed. I'm not giving you the bird. Fingers are actually crossed here. Okay, they are. I hope you can see that. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, we'll be back hopefully next week and every Thursday in the month of May. However, we need to be real, and I need to share something with you about the month of May where I live. May is peak tornado season where I live. I live near Joplin, Missouri. And if you remember this, great. If not, Google it, you'll find it. There was a very devastating tornado that hit here, an EF5 tornado, May 22nd, 2011. So we can have some very dangerous storms here. If we have severe weather, um, and that would be a severe thunderstorm warning, obviously a tornado warning, or a very strong likelihood of either one of those. I will not be here Thursday night in this on YouTube. I will be in my safe spot. Okay, so and I will post some updates in the message area on my YouTube channel, so you can look for it there if it's going to be postponed or canceled or rescheduled. But I intend to be here every Thursday night through the month of May through June 5th. I have a engagement, an event that I need to go to on Thursday, June 12th. So that week, we're either not going to have one or we have it on a different day. But yeah, so just to let you know that this, we're entering peak tornado season here. We've already had a couple of tornado watches and tornado warnings here. We've had, I could, off the top of my head, on Easter, hopefully everyone had a nice Easter. We had a tornado that touched down. I think it's like one or two communities away from where I live and did a little bit of destruction. So, and that was an EF1. So, but we have had EF5s, and that EF5 I'm talking about from 2011 were two very strong tornadoes that merged into one. I had a friend of mine that's a storm chaser, and he was tracking this, and he was chatting with me. And originally, I live north of Joplin. Okay, and originally the tornado was supposed to come right where I am. Okay, but at the last minute it shifted and stayed south and ripped a big patch through the center of Joplin. And if my memory serves me correctly, there's about 158 people who lost their lives that day, and it devastated the community. So we don't mess around with tornadoes here. People in Oklahoma know how serious they are. Tornadoes really like Oklahoma. The thing I don't get here, and this is me venting a little bit, depending on what map you look at, where I live is in Tornado Alley or next to Tornado Alley. Okay, we don't have basements here. Okay, because where I live it was a mining area, so there's a lot of mines around here. MINES, not the kind that explode, but the kind that you go in and dig out coal or whatever. Okay. Now in St. Louis, which is east of me and not in the Tornado Alley zone where I grew up, both houses I lived in had basements. Somebody, if you can explain why there are no basements where people live in Tornado Alley, please let me know. I'll love to know that. Anyway, I hope everyone is going to have a very wonderful rest of Autism Awareness and Acceptance Month and a wonderful upcoming weekend. The weather's getting nicer. I'm looking forward to barbecuing. And I know she's not watching, but I got to say something. I got to give a shout out to somebody. My niece-in-law cooked me 2 pounds Okay, started out as 2 pounds, bacon. At 2 pounds of bacon. And I've been enjoying bacon on my cheeseburgers for the last day or so. And I thank her so much for that. And I want to thank everyone who's tuned in here. If you haven't already, please like this video so more people will be aware of it. And if you haven't, you should subscribe to the channel. Okay? And when you do, you want to ring that little bell to be notified when I post new videos, which my goal is to be posting 4 videos a week, counting the live stream. Okay. And we're going to be doing I'm going to be launching some shorts later on in May. Short videos, not, actually jogging shorts. I take things literally, so that's why I do that. So you want to do that. And when you ring the bell, you will be notified when I go live with these live streams. Now, we've been doing these for about 6 months now, since last November, every Thursday except one because I took a week off. I use over vacation once in a while, and they've been okay. We're going to try a few things to try to get more people to attend these because I love the people who come. I want more people to come. I mean, because it's a great resource. So we may try different times and different days of the week. And if you have a preferred day or time that you would like to see this live stream instead of Thursdays at 7 p.m. Central, send it to me, put it in a comment, email it to me, whatever. Please don't stop by my house. I don't really, I don't really have a lot of company over here, and it's a mess. So a lot of clutter. Anyway, thank you for hanging out with me tonight. Have a wonderful weekend. And like I said, I will see you guys next week at 7 p.m. Central Time, May 1st, May Day, May Day, May Day. And we'll have another one of these live streams. So, with a topic. So, thank you for hanging out with me. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next time. Until we chat again. One, check out all the great videos on this channel. But until we chat again, remember this is the Confident Autistic telling you that you can live confidently autistic. And my YouTube channel with now 250 videos, we reached that mark today, can help you start living confidently autistic and living as your authentic autistic self. Thanks for tuning in. See you guys next week.